Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny. Chào mừng các bạn một video khác với Johnny nha. So here is a speaking practice and we will be speaking mostly English, and today we have 3 students in the class. They are about level of 6.0 to 7.0. So they will be practicing their speaking. Alright, class. So we are working on this prediction of IELTS speaking by Mr. Ngọc. So I would like to say thank you to you for making this material so the community can use it. Alright. Let's start with part 1, class. So let's talk about TV program. So do you remember the program with the ME at the last program? Like program with double M and E. Do you remember that one? Cái chữ program có hai chữ M và chữ E, mấy bạn nhớ cái đó không? Well, we don't need to worry too much about it because we can always use program without the ME at the last, at the end. You don't need that ME at the end anyway. Let's just use TV program like this. So, Mr. Lund, do you often watch TV programs on the TV or on your cell phone?
Well, to be honest, I hardly watch TV at all. Both on the TV.
Both
on the TV
both.
And on my cell phone.
No. Is that because you don't you're not really interested in the news? Or is there any other reasons?
Because I'm not interested.
Interested in first syllable. Interested.
I'm not interested.
No, it's interested. First syllable.
I'm not interested in
âm 1 nha, âm đầu. First syllable. Interested. I'm not interested in.
I'm not interested in
Interested
TV program.
Okay.
And TV show on the TV and on my cell phone. I don't have a habit to watch.
You don't have that habit, I see. So it's a matter of habit. It's not because you don't like to watch TV program, right? Am I right?
I think both.
Both.
I think both. I don't like
both. Thè lưỡi, cái âm thờ thè lưỡi ra. Both. Thè lưỡi ra. Both. Yes, I think both. Yes. All right. So, Miss Shương, what kind of TV programs do you like?
When I was a kid,
A child.
Yeah.
Don't use kid, okay? Don't use kid in IELTS because it can be a slang, and it's informal. Nó không có trịnh trọng và nó có thể là từ lóng nha. Kid là cậu trai mới lớn là từ lóng. So a kid is basically a slang for a young man, like maybe just out of 18 or 19 years old, Okay. So say again, what kind of TV program do you like?
When I was a child, I'm really big on the cartoon programs, so I'm already wait for the time to turn on TV and watching the cartoon. Yeah, and the cartoon movie I really love is Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry is excellent. Mr. Trung, do you know Tom and Jerry?
Yes, I used to watch Tom and Jerry's when I was a child, like back in 2006 or 2007.
Well, it was a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry is actually quite old, but it's educational, It's like it educates people about how life could be, about love, about deceit, about you know, things that can happen between people in our society, right? So it is actually educational as well as entertaining too. So what do you think about this one, Mr. Lun? What do you think about that program?
What kind of TV programs do I like? I think
No. The question is about Tom and Jerry. What do you think about that one? Have you heard about it?
I heard about it, and I definitely liked that kind of program because I have so much stress in real life to deal with. So I want to look for
You want to look for an escape. You want to look for an escape to get away from
get away from the heat of my life.
To get away from the heat, the stress, to get away from to get away from the stress of my life. I see. So, Mr. Lund, do you talk with your friends about the program you watched?
In most cases, I would like to talk about TV program or film with my friends because I find it's very interesting.
Interesting. I find it really interesting.
Interesting when I say again about the detail of a film or TV program with my friends.
Oh, I see. Miss June, do you like watching the same kind of TV program? I mean, watching the same kind of program all the time? Like, all the time you watch the same kind of program? Or do you change to different kind of programs? Okay, let's think about this one. You like a kind of movies on that channel. So do you always watch the same thing again and again on that channel, maybe? Or do you experiment? You go to other channels and see what else is on display?
Yes, because I think that in the TV programs it not too much entertainment, so I try to find out in another channel to find
something interesting, right?
Yeah. So for me, I'm not really choose one channel all the time. I try looking find more program in another.
I see. You try looking to find more programs on the TV. I see. So how about you, Mr. Trung? Do you like watching the same kind of program all the time?
No, I want to change, like to have different program to like if you watch the same program every day, it can get bored. So I'm trying, like I watch a lot of TV program back then. So I'm not just like watching the only channel. I'm switch between different channels to have different experience.
Yeah, like switching to Johnny IELTS channel for different experience. Like for example, instead of watching IELTS channel, you can go to Johnny Piano, for example. Johnny Keys Piano, for example, for different experience. You know I have a lot of channels, right?
Yeah.
I have like a science channel, I have IELTS channel, I have piano channel as well. God knows, maybe I will make a channel about cooking later. Who knows?
Yeah.
And maybe a
channel that you have a lot of. I remember that you have an old YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that channel.
Including a lot
of videos that I used to make in the past, and then unlucky for me, I had a bad habit of just deleting the original videos. So when my channel got suspended like 2 years ago, I could not get them back. Okay, so let's talk about New Year celebration, which is the topic 11, which is topic number 11. So, Miss Su, how do you celebrate New Year?
Well, I'm always celebrate New Year with my families.
It's not
just
the
like
New Year, it's just New Year, you know. Not the New Year, it's just New Year, you know.
New Year
With my
family.
I see.
It's just like a traditional of my family. So
It's just a
everyone,
tradition. It's just the tradition of my family.
it's just
So
a tradition of my family. So every member in my family come
we have
together
something, yeah.
and just make a small party and everyone uh, settle down, eating and chatting, waiting for the countdown time.
Oh, for the countdown time, and then we can drink
say Happy
together,
New
right?
Year.
And we can say Happy New Year and drink together,
Yeah.
isn't it? I say. How about you, Mr. Lun? How do you celebrate New Year?
Well,
Think about it.
I usually celebrate New Year with my family. That is a great time.
Great time. That's a great time.
Great time for
Great.
family.
Great.
Great.
Yes.
Time for
For family occasions, right?
family members from all walks of life.
Oh, walks of life, yeah. Oh, wait. You said all walks of life. It means many people from the society. But if you said if you are from the same family, how could you come from all walks of life? It doesn't make sense. Nếu mà cùng một gia đình thì làm sao mà từ mọi nẻo đường cuộc sống được? Cái từ là mọi nẻo đường cuộc sống là dành cho mọi người trong xã hội mà.
Okay. Come back from different places.
Okay. All right.
To celebrate the occasion together, especially in New Year Eve.
On New Year Eve
we enjoy the toast together and chatting with each other about
enjoy the toast. The toast is like ăn mừng. It's like a kind of celebration, I think. All right. So, do you have okay, Mr. Trung? Do you still remember a New Year that you celebrated?
Yes. So, on New Year's Eve, I usually spend time with my family. Before when the coronavirus hasn't arrived, like the world is still normal, I used to hang out with my friend on New Year's Eve. Like we hang out, having dinner.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, it's good, but like my mom was pretty scared because I'm just 14, 15 back then, so my mom was scared I get kidnapped.
Of course. My mother's always like that, you know.
Yeah, but last year and this year, coronavirus outbreak, we cannot celebrate and watching countdown on the street. So I decided to just staying home, having
stay at home. You mean decide just to stay at home?
Stay at home and having dinner with my family and my cousin.
I see. Okay, good. So tell me, why do people think New Year is a new beginning, Mr. Trung? Tại sao người ta nghĩ cái năm mới là một cái khởi đầu mới? You know why?
In my opinion, I think that because New Year is coming, so they want to start a new thing.
Start a new thing, of course.
Yeah, so last year they may fail.
I mean, the year before. Is it the year before?
Yeah, the year before. they fail, so I think they want to redeem themselves to like start again to this year to like maybe having a better year and like
Yeah.
it's hard to say.
Of course, it's
Like
hard to say. It's always hard to say. Yeah.
yeah, it's like they want to uh, making a new progress so they can process a new thing on the new year. They don't want to repeat the same thing that they did
Don't want to
last
repeat
year.
the same thing. They want to repeat the same mistake.
Like they don't want to repeat the fail, you know. They want to start a new chapter, yeah, a new chapter, and maybe success in future by starting a new chapter in their life. So yeah, that's what I think.
It's like I think it's about new beginning because basically they want to look back at the previous year to see what they have achieved and what they have not. And also they will try to plan for the year ahead. Lên kế hoạch đó, cái năm tới. Like to plan for the year ahead, have some ideas. That's why we have something called New Year resolution, you know. It's something that you promise yourself to do in a year. Giống như là hứa hẹn năm nay tôi sẽ làm gì, you know, New Year resolution.
Yeah.
But of course, a lot of the time, people do not carry them out. Like, for example, everyone have a New Year resolution that, okay, this year I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to have 6 packs. Going to the gym, but nobody can actually do that. I mean, very little numbers of people, very few people can actually do that. All right. So, Miss Shun, do you have any
Yes.
ceremonies to celebrate the New Year in your country? Think about Spring Festival. And people often go and visit the graves, you know. Tảo mộ.
Yes.
Visit the graves.
In my country, is the Lunar New Year. It have many.
There are many.
There are traditional ceremonies.
Well, according to a survey, there are about 4,000 different celebration and ceremonies around Vietnam right now to celebrate New Year. I mean, to
Yes.
celebrate the whole year. But normally we know of only 5 or 6. Think about lễ hội mùa xuân, the Spring Festival. Think about that, the Spring Festival. Think about Lunar New Year. Of course, that is a ceremony, a big one. Think about what else? What else do we have then? We have Western calendar New Year, where we also have Lunar New Year, which is Vietnamese traditional New Year.
Yes.
What else do we have? Class, do you have any idea? Yes, Mr. Long?
Yeah, I think Vietnamese people have a habit to visit temples
at the
first day of the new year because they think they will come to the temple to wish for the good luck, for
to
peace
wish for good luck, yeah. To wish for good luck and prosperity. Thịnh vượng.
Prosperity for their family.
Yes. To wish for good luck and prosperity, yes.
For family.
Also, think about they go into the pagoda, also to visit the maybe the graves of their of the deceased. of the dead people, you know, deceased, the deceased or the dead people. To visit graves, you know, tảo mộ. Alright, so let's move on to why do people think New Year is a new beginning? What do you think, Mr. Lun?
I think the New Year, especially in the New Year Eve, is a good time for people to look back every event of their
Events
life.
Of every event
previous-
in the year.
In a previous year.
In the previous year. I
And
see.
previous year and plan for their life in the new year. There are something there are some mistakes in the last year that they want
In the
to
previous
fix.
year, in the previous
Fix
year.
it. In
Trong cái
previous
năm trước
year.
đó có những cái lỗi sai trong những năm trước đó chứ không phải năm ngoái. You know, there are some if there are some mistakes in the previous year, then they would like to solve it.
Fix it.
Fix it, yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right.
And
and what else? What else? Is there anything else? More questions? More ideas?
I think people often shoot the better version of themselves, and the better version of themselves, and they would like to do it in the new year.
Yeah. Okay, good. We should go to part 2 now. So let's go to part 2, topic number 10. I'll move this one here and down there. Okay, part 2, topic number 10. Pages 14 out of 36. Okay, describe a time when you got close to wild animals. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn đã đến gần với động vật hoang dã. You should say where you were, what the animals were doing, mấy cái con đó đã làm cái gì, bạn đã từng ở đâu. Who were with you, bạn đã ở với ai. And explain what your reaction was. Và giải thích là cái phản ứng của bạn lúc đó là như thế nào. Okay, we also have part 3 here. What are the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild? Có những sự khác biệt nào giữa động vật ở trong cái sở thú và những động vật ở ngoài tự nhiên? Like, you should talk about their environment, living environment. Their, how can I say, behaviors, their instinct. Cái hành xử của nó và cái bản năng của nó. Talk about their living environment as well, how they affect. Do they receive medical treatment? Chúng có nhận được cái sự chăm sóc sức khỏe bình thường hay không? Or something like that. Okay, why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about animals? Tại sao những nhân viên trong sở thú nên dạy quần chúng, nên dạy công chúng về các loài động vật? Why are people keen on feeding pets? Be careful, this is pets, not pest, okay? Well, I think there's something wrong with the question here. Because the question should be, why are people keen on feeding wild animals in the zoo? Cái câu hỏi nên là tại sao con người ta lại rất là thích cho động vật, cho thú hoang dã trong sở thú ăn, mặc dù điều này là bị cấm. Basically, feeding animals in the zoos are not the job, not the thing that the public should do. Some zoos, they even prohibit it. They even ban that practice, you know. But why people are so keen on doing it? How can the increase of the human population influence wild animals? Làm thế nào một sự gia tăng về dân số con người nó ảnh hưởng đến những động vật hoang dã? Okay, look at human population. If human population increases, how would it affect the wild animals? Do we need more place to live? We have to destroy the forest? Or do we need more food to eat? Do we need to expand our factories? What else? How can we influence wild animals? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, 2 phút bắt đầu. Alright, it's time. Now, Mr. Trung, you first. Describe a time when you got close to wild animals, please.
So like I think the only time I get close to wild animal is in the zoo.
Wild.
A wild animal is in the zoo because
Was
in
in the
life,
zoo. Was in the zoo.
I was in the zoo because in my life I never been to like a wild jungle in Africa or somewhere in the world. The only chance that I have to get close to like an animal is in the zoo only. So when I got into the zoo, I think the animal was fed by
Was fed by.
was fed by like what are those people called? Like,
Well, they are called zookeeper.
yeah, they was fed by zookeeper, and like I have an opportunity to fed a giraffe actually a pretty cool experience.
Cool. Are you sure you use the good word? Cool.
I mean, it was an awesome experience.
It was a fantastic, amazing experience. Let's use that word.
Yes, sorry. I went there with my family and my cousin again. Like we when I was a child, my mom wanted me to see like how animal life would look like. So she took me to the zoo, and that is my first time I see wild animal.
Wild
Animal. My reaction was like, I think because we have zookeeper there, so it's not it's not dangerous. Like I was thinking, because we are in a zoo, if we are in a jungle, something like that, the animal will not be that nice. Like they will not. They will maybe can kill us if we are in a jungle. So my first reaction was like, it's not what I expected. I expected to be more angrier, more.
You mean you expect more of a show, right?
Yeah.
You expected it to be more of a show, right? Giống như expect như là phải thú vị hơn, như là một cái show diễn nha, right?
Yeah.
Alright, good. Miss Shun, please, your turn. Describe a time when you got close to wild animals. Be careful with the past tense, okay? Right. Miss Shun? Yes.
Yes. In the trip.
On the trip.
On the trip with my friends in 2018, we go to the.
It's 2018, yeah.
Yeah, 2018. We went to Seafood.
Yeah, so what happened on that trip?
Yeah, we want to discover. We want to explore everything, so we try to go around in everywhere in. Then we buy a ticket to go to the Bean Safari. There
Bean Pearl Safari, I see.
Yeah, it's the June, and in here we will get on the bus, and then we will have a tour go around this zoo. And when we are sitting on the bus, we can see a lot of wild animals, just like a lion, elephant, or bear.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we come to another area that we can try to walk and come to see the another animals closer. Example,
Yes, for
the
example.
elephant or the zebra. I remember that I tried to feed and the elephant by the leaf, but the zookeeper come close to me
Came close to me and said no.
no, yeah,
And said no. Okay.
yes, and he said no. I see that this is the first time
I saw that it was. I
I
saw that
thought,
it was the first time.
yeah, I saw that it was the first time I really close to a wild animal, and it's
Wild,
a
wild animals.
wild animal. So it's really exciting for me.
It was exciting. It was exciting
Yeah,
for me, yeah, because I was excited, yeah.
it was exciting for me. And luckily that time is raining, so if I have a chance, I will come in in the summer season, maybe.
Okay, good. Mr. Lon, please, your turn. Describe a time when you got close to wild animals, please.
I remember that time in 2017, I visited Thule Zoo in Hanoi with my child, who was
With your children,
with my children, who was a 4 years old girl. I saw many wild animals in cages with
in the cage,
separate with
in the
the cage
cage.
with separate with people by iron fence.
Iron fences, right?
Yeah, iron fences.
Những cái gọi là củi sắt. Iron fences. Okay, good. Anything else?
To be honest, I don't find any interesting to looking these animals. They just walk around and lay down in the ground.
On the ground. They lay down on the
Don't
ground. They lay down on the
lay down on
ground
the
and
ground and don't even care
they didn't
about
even care.
people who they
Didn't
didn't
even
even
care
care
about
people who
who
was
were
watching them.
watching them. Yes.
But when I came closer to a lion,
The lion woke up. Huh?
to a lion to see clearly, but nothing happened at that time. But when because they all look
Were
ill,
old because they were old.
they were all weak, ill. But when my child came closer to the fence,
Came closer.
came closer to the fence, the lion jumped up suddenly to her. I really got a terrible panic.
I was panicking. I was panicking, and
I was panicking with that unpredictable action of the lion.
okay. So what happened? Nothing happened, right? Of course, nothing could happen because the animal is in the cage anyway.
In the cage.
All right, so let's go to part 3 now. Mr. Trung, what are the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild? What do you think?
I think animal in the zoo that I think protected by zookeepers, and they they can be fed every meal in a good in good meal time, so they won't get hungry, and I think they was like nicer or like
They were nicer, yeah. They are
yeah,
less ferocious. They are less
as well.
they are less mean. Không có hung dữ
Yeah,
đâu. They're less mean or less ferocious.
but animal in the
I think
wild,
ferocious, right?
because like by the name wild, they're very
They're very wild, yeah. Let's just
yeah,
say.
they're very wild. They're very
Of course, they are very
angry.
wild
They're very
and
hungry
mean.
every time. They mean. They're scary, and I think they don't have like a good life. It's compared to a zoo animal, but they have one thing is freedom.
Of course, one
Uh,
important thing that is the
yeah, one
freedom.
important is freedom. Animal in zoo, they have to live in a cage, very small cage compared to what they can live in a wild, a big,
Environment, a wild environment.
yeah, a wild environment. Uh, so I think that is the thing that I think that is the important part, that wild animal is having freedom space compared to zoo animal.
Of course.
Yeah.
What do you think, Miss Sương? Besides from what Mr. Trung has said, that's about the freedom and they are well fed. What else can you say about the differences?
I think if animal they are kept in the zoo for many years, they will less active and become they can be they can get many disease
They can get many diseases and illness
or
easily,
yeah
isn't it?
illness easily, or they can be get old.
Of course, everyone age, every animal's age. And they become ill when they are older, just like humans.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
because the zoo is very small, not like their environment like before. So maybe the protection, the the protection of there is will um, increase. So it will make
so they have a better
be-
protection. They have a better security and protection for their life, right? So that you would not become like a prey, right?
yes. Yeah, it will be good for the red book, the animal,
Yeah.
the loài động vật mà trong sách đỏ. Yeah,
The endangered animals. So those the animals,
endangered animal.
endangered
Yeah,
animals.
it will have to protect them, but for another thing, I think that and this animal will be this not good environment for them when they are in the zoo. Many people come and see you make the
They will make the
but they
animals.
are
They will make the animals feel scared, right?
scared. Yeah, feel scared.
But after a while, they will get used to it. They get used to it
Yeah.
anyway, so they ignore humans after a while, I think. Don't you think?
And, they will lost their nature,
Natural instinct,
their natural.
Natural instinct. Bản năng tự nhiên. Natural instinct. Okay, Mr. Lon, please. Why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about the animals? What do you think?
I think the staff in the zoo should teach the public about animal to everyone who visits the zoo, because
Yeah, what was that? Yeah.
because normally people don't have a good awareness about
have a
the
good awareness of wild animals and
of
why it's so important.
wild animal. So therefore they don't have the knowledge
The
about
knowledge,
that animal,
about that.
knowledge about that. This can lead to the action may harm,
The action that might harm those animals.
harm the animal. So the staff have a responsibility to educate everyone to know about that, know about those wild animals.
Okay, so think about the public. Obviously, the public are in need of an education, right? They need to know like what they should do and what they should not do to the animals. They also should understand that they should give animals the privacy that the animals deserve, because you know a lot of these animals in a zoo, they are predators, right? And they should not they should be treated with like more privacy. Chúng cần phải có cái sự mà riêng tư tốt hơn, cho nên đừng có mà làm cho nó bị hoảng sợ. So you should not bother the animals. You should not throw food at animals too, because you know a lot of you know, people in the public, they are very rude to wild animals, you know. Nhiều người ở trong công cộng á, họ lỗ mãng lắm luôn á, cực kỳ lỗ mãng với lại những động vật hoang dã. They throw foods at animals, you know, and that can anger those animals. It can anger them, and that is not a good thing. Obviously, those are not a good thing, right? Definitely, it's not a good thing. So let's move on to the next question, Miss Shu. Why are people keen on feeding wild animals, even though they know that the zoo prohibits it? What do you think?
In my opinion, I think because feeding animal makes people feel good, because they bring the feeling of helping another people. So it makes them feel why this behavior, and maybe when they feeding the animal, this animal will be friendly and come close
to
people, and they might be curious about those animals. So they want to look some closer.
What else then? Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Mr. Trung, how can the increase of the human population influence wild animals? What do you think?
The population keep increase throughout the years.
Keep increasing
throughout the years. So one day, people will live on a place, on an area that wild animals should live. Like people will use that area to like build
what would it be?
Build a town for people, because people keep increasing.
You mean the population keep increasing?
Yeah, population keep increasing, so that will put animal to instinct.
You mean it will keep animals on the path of extinction?
Yeah, on the path of extinction. Like animal didn't have much space to live. You know, animal
don't have many places to live.
many
Don't have
places
a
to live.
place to live. Yeah.
Yeah, because especially wild animal, they need to live in like wide and large space.
Yeah.
So if the population keep increasing, I afraid that the amount of animal in this planet can decrease a lot.
Yeah, of course they can decrease up to the path.
Yeah.
They are on a path of this extinction.
Yeah.
A path of extinction. Okay, good. Right. So, what do you think about this one, Mr. Lun? How can the increase of human population influence wild animals?
I think the growth of human population will lead to the increase of the demon.
Increase
Increase of demons.
What do you mean demon?
About
demand? You mean demand?
Demand.
You mean
food.
demand? Yeah, increase in demand.
Demand
Nhu
of
cầu.
food. Demand of food.
Demon là con demon là cái từ khác. Demon là con quỷ,
Demand.
Yeah, demand. It's demand.
Yeah, people have to take more land to
grow crops and other agricultural products, right?
Yeah.
Produce.
To provide more food to people, to human. So wild animal will be narrowed land to live.
We have a narrow piece of land to live on, you mean?
Yeah, to live on. So they will
what would they do? So they will try to cut down trees. They will try to cut down trees, and deforestation will destroy a lot of the natural habitats of wild animals, right?
Yeah, they will cut down the tree and destroy the jungle.
Destroy the jungles.
Where wild animal live.
Where wild animals used to live, right?
By the action, the environment will be
the
land will be
lost.
And the forest station.
The deforestation, phá rừng. Deforestation. Yes, what else? What about it? Please. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic. We are wasting too much time on this topic already. Now, let's go to 11. Describe a time you made a promise to someone. Miêu tả một cái thời điểm mà bạn đã hứa hẹn ai đó. Describe a time you made a promise to someone. You should say what the promise was. Bạn đã hứa cái gì? To whom you made it. Bạn đã hứa với ai? Whether it was easy or difficult to keep that promise. Liệu là nó có dễ hay là khó giữ cái lời hứa đó? And explain why you keep it. Why you made it. Và giải thích tại sao bạn lại là hứa hẹn như vậy. Be careful. This is in past tense, okay? Past tense. And you also have part 3 about promises, I think. What kinds of promises do people often make? Con người ta thường là hứa hẹn những cái loại lời hứa như thế nào? Like promises about love. Like, I will love you until the end of time. I will love you forever. But then, after a few years, they they file a divorce, you know. That's a promise of love. Sau vài năm cái ly dị, tự nhiên cái lúc cưới thì là hứa em sẽ yêu em đến lúc cuối tận cùng của thời gian. You know, that's the kind of promise people often make about love. People can make promises about money, for example. Please give it to me. I will pay you back in 1 month, let's say. But often people never return the money within 1 month. Hứa hẹn trả tiền nha. Or they can promise children. They can promise that people they will buy something for them or something like that. You can think of other scenarios as well. Các bạn có thể nghĩ đến những cái tình huống khác nữa. Do parents in Vietnam make promise to their children? Cha mẹ ở Việt Nam có hứa hẹn với trẻ nhỏ của họ không? Do children keep their promises? Trẻ nhỏ có giữ lời hứa của chúng không? Why do some people fail to keep their promises? Tại sao một số người họ lại thất bại trong chuyện, họ đã không thành công trong chuyện mà giữ lời hứa? Alright, this is a bit difficult, but I'll give you 2 minutes, okay? 2 phút bắt đầu. Alright, let's start now. Describe a time you made a promise to someone. Mr. Trung, you first.
Last year, I make a promise with my friend to take her home because back then I have like electric bicycle and I live close to her house, so I want to take her home. But because at the end of the class, my teacher have something to talk to me. I think
Had something.
Yeah, has something to talk to me. I think it's about my grade or something. I don't actually remember that well. And like she waited me.
She waited for me.
Yeah, sorry. She waited for me in front of the school with a school gate, and I was like half an hour late. So she late for her extra classes.
She was late for her extra class.
Yeah, she was late for her extra class. She would the day after she was very mad at me because
obviously
because I'm not making
because I was not
making my promises,
because I didn't keep my promise.
Yeah.
Or you can just say because you had not kept your promise, because that happened before that day that you talk about, right? Yeah. So past perfect, because you had not kept your promise.
And I think that promise is not actually difficult because I think like riding her home is easy, and the fact that my teacher called me to talk after school is a sudden situation. I haven't prepared for that situation, so it's also if my teacher didn't call me back, I will easily to keep my promises.
I could have easily made my promise. I could have easily kept my promise.
Yeah,
I could have easily kept my promise.
Yeah, I could easily kept my promise. And and the reason that I made that promise because I actually has a crush on her, so I want to.
You actually had a crush on her, right?
Yeah, so I want to like make a good impression. So I want to take her home. But,
terrible impression.
Yeah. Afterward, I still managed to like date with her, but not for a long time.
Wow, cool. Yeah. All right, Miss Sương, please describe a time that you made a promise to someone, please.
Yes, many years ago, I promised with.
I promised
with my cousin that in the summer I will came to her house. I would come to her house and stay there about 3 months with her, play and learning with her. But I'm so glad that I didn't ask my parents before. So the summer camp
Yes.
because she really liked to play and learn with me, and she asked me many times that can you come to my house and play with me in the summer, and I just promised. And then the summer came, and then I have to go to the extra class, and I also forget about the promise I make with her.
That
Then
you made with her. The promise that you
yeah,
made with her,
and then she about 1 month later she came to my house to visit my mom, and she asked me why I didn't came to her house as I promised. So I just remember I really regret and blame myself for that.
Okay, good. Mr. Lun, please. Describe a time that you made a promise to someone, please.
I am a kind of person who keeps the promise.
I know
But,
that.
But something happened in the past. I did a promise to my employee that I would increase her salary
But you
by
did not,
the end
right?
of that year.
But you did not.
Yeah, because she seemed a good one who did a great job before and got some achievement. But I could not keep that promise to her.
You feel bad about it?
Yeah, it's not easy to keep that promise, and I feel terrible because some unexpected situation happened.
To the company?
My company did not have a good revenue that year, and did not have a good profit also.
Did not make a good profit that year.
Did not make a good profit that year also. So I could not keep my promise.
You know what? You know what? I can make a promise. I can make a promise that I will not increase the tuition fee in, say, a year. I will not increase tuition fee in a year, but that's a promise I make with you. I'm not so sure if I will keep the promise with other people. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Right. So, let's go to part 3 now. Miss Shun, please. So, what kind of promises do people often make?
Many people often make a promise, just like their children want to buy something, so they just promise when the children know.
Of course, promises to children so that the child will stop making noise, right?
Yes. Maybe when they are talking about something and they are in the feeling, so they just make promise but forget about making a plan on
Yes.
schedule. So maybe a trip or something. So then they can be make a promise without planning.
Okay, good. Now, so what do you think about this one, Mr. Trung? What kinds of promises do people often make? Of course, promise to pick you up. Promise about picking you up on time.
So I think the kind of promise that people often make is like something they think is doable. They think is capable to keep their promise, like easy promises, like they're taking you home or something like that. Like promise that they think that they can easily keep, and they're not. I don't think the majority of people that making hard promises is pretty low, because hard promises, like the percentage of successful and hard, like
You mean the
keeping,
percentage of success in keeping those? What kind of promise is that?
like maybe
5%.
yeah, like big promises. I don't have a detailed example right now.
Like, okay, what kind of big promises? Like, for example, promises to themselves that they would lose weight or going to the gym and something like that.
That could be an example. Like promise to lose weight in the future. And sometimes that could be a very hard promises, because a lot of people are busy at work, at study. They don't have time to go to the gym, or they're just lazy. It's it's one of the promise that very hard to keep.
Promises to stop drinking milk tea.
Yeah,
that's very tough.
That's very tough. I admit that.
Okay, that's very tough. So, Mr. Trung, so Mr. Lon, please, do parents in Vietnam make promise to their children?
Always, I have to say that. When they want to, their children do something good or change
the behavior.
They make a promise to them to give them more hope in the future.
Of course.
It may work in some way, especially delay the children's demand or make them calm down when children make so much noise in their home.
If children make noise, I'll just let them make noise. I'm not gonna give in. Don't give in to children's. Don't give in. Đừng có chịu thôi nó. Basically, you should not give in to children's making noises and things like that. Otherwise, they will not respect you in the future. Remember that. I think that's one of the mistakes that Vietnamese parents often make. They promise a lot, but they cannot keep that promises. And their children is, of course, like spoiled kids. Always keep making noise. I think Vietnamese children these days are very spoiled. They keep making a lot of noises, and they just keep demanding things. They grow up very selfish, you know. A lot of them grow up very selfish. Unfortunately, I mean, that's a very unfortunate thing. But when they go to school, of course, their friends will never treat them that nice, you know. So maybe in school, they will learn that the society is not that easy on them. Well, in my opinion, you should never make promise to children that you cannot keep. You should respect your children if you want to receive that respect back from them. Alright, so Mr. Lon, do children keep their promises?
I think the children often forget
about something.
Forget about their promises.
Of course, they always forget their promises. They forget they promises, and then
their memory usually work in short term, but it's not. It did not work in long term.
It does
So
not
they
work
can't,
for long term, for
they
sure.
couldn't remember their promises. Then there are many unreliable promises from the children.
Okay.
And they don't have a competency to make it
competency
to make it come to competency.
Or you
to
can
make
just say
it come
competence. To make it come true, of course. Well, like for example, children always promise to do their homework and to sleep on time or to go to class early, but they're always late. They're always not doing what they are told to do, but not always, you know. I mean, they're usually late for class. They usually not do their homework, something like that. Only in strict family with strict discipline, you know, discipline, of course, with strict discipline, then the child or those children will succeed in keeping promises. You know, discipline is a key here. Phải có kỷ luật. All right, so Miss Sương, please. Why do people fail to keep their promises? What do you think?
Yeah, people often promise and try to keep their promises, but due to the under certain circumstances, they maybe fail to keep. Because
they may fail to keep.
Because maybe they have a emergency thing to do.
Because maybe they have an emergency or a thing to do.
Yeah. For example, if when you promise to go to a movie theater to a film with your friend, and then you have
an emergency
vital thing to do at that time, you have to mix the promise or maybe because you under pressure of work, maybe your head don't have enough space for remember the promise, and maybe you just forget.
Okay. Okay. Now, so Mr. Trung, what do you think? Why do some people fail to keep their promises? I mean, beside from like sudden incidences or a certain situation happens, is it because of their personality as well? What do you think? Có một số người cái tánh khoái hứa lèo như nào? Mr. Trung?
Yes.
So why do some people fail to keep their promises? What do you think?
I think because like they want to I think they want to make a good impression, so they keep make a lot of promises, but because I don't like exactly reason that people
I don't know the exact reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact reason that people fail to keep their promises. Because the only thing I can say is maybe a certain situation like before, like I say earlier.
Let's talk about something else, not just certain situation, you know.
Yeah, but like keep the promise. Maybe because they are a liar, they don't.
I mean, their personality is just like that. They like to make promises that they cannot keep, right?
Yeah, that could be their personality as well. They always make promises. They make people hope that he or she will keep their promise, but actually they never keep their promises. They just lie to us.
Or maybe that's just white lies, just to make people feel good. Lời nói dối trắng.
So like
it's white lies. Yeah, sometimes it's white lies.
We
Yeah.
tell it lie to make people feel
Better.
Better, yeah.
All right. I think we can go to the next topic. Topic number 12, which is describe a time when you needed to use your imagination. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn đã cần phải sử dụng trí tưởng tượng của bạn. You should say what the situation was. Tình huống đó là gì? Why you needed to use your imagination. Tại sao bạn đã cần phải sử dụng cái trí tưởng tượng của bạn? What the difficulties were about it. Đã có những cái khó khăn nào về chuyện đó? Explain how you felt about it. Bạn đã cảm thấy thế nào về điều đó? And you have part 3 here. Do you think adults can have lots of imagination? Bạn có nghĩ người lớn có thể có trí tưởng tượng rất nhiều không? Do you think imagination is essential for scientists? And why? Bạn có nghĩ trí tưởng tượng là tối cần thiết cho những nhà khoa học không? What kinds of jobs need imagination? Có những loại công việc nào cần trí tưởng tượng tốt? What subjects are helpful for children's imagination? Những môn học nào là hữu ích với lại trí tưởng tượng của trẻ nhỏ? Okay, you have 2 minutes to think now. Okay, let's start now with topic number 12. Describe a time when you needed to use your imagination. Miss Sương, can you start first?
Yes.
Yes, a time when you needed to use your imagination. It could be any time,
For me, it was when I was in high school, and I'm not good at the history, but I have to do an exam for in the final exam for this subject.
Yes.
So I have to try to use my imagination and made to learn this.
Don't tell me that you made up stories, made up stories in history.
No, I tried to read a book and using my imagination to try to imagine just to recall imagination what happened in that. Just make the story more. Just make the knowledge is more sống động.
To make the knowledge more vibrant or more dynamic, to have more dynamic, right?
Yes, and just make them just like a story in my mind, so it's easy for me to learn a lot of knowledge. Is like time, so it's really difficult to to make the knowledge in the book to become to the real story. So it's very helpful for me at that time, but it's also really difficult.
It's also very difficult, of course. Mr. Lund, please. Describe a time when you needed to use your imagination, please.
It always happens in my life because I am working in a marketing field where I have to use my imagination frequently.
Of course.
When I create a storyboard for a video.
Say again. A story what? A story what?
Storyboard.
Board?
Storyboard.
I don't
For
understand. The storyboard for a video? Yeah.
For a video, I have to imagine every scene and details, such as chatting of characters, their movement, the background, and so on. It's quite difficult to me sometimes, especially a viral video which I have to tell the story by video. And I think the life has its ups and downs.
Of course, life always has its ups and downs, and
sometimes I was in a bad mood and I couldn't imagine anything. My mind blew away and blank.
Okay. My mind was blown away and it went blank, I see. Alright. Is that all? So you were explaining that there was a time when you cannot imagine, right? But you needed to use your imagination, but you found it difficult to do so, isn't it?
Difficult.
Okay. So actually, it's okay. Now, Mr. Trung, please.
The time that I need to use my imagination is in my art class at school, because the teachers say us to draw a picture, to draw a landscape of my hometown. So
Yes.
and I live in Saigon. My hometown is Hanoi. I cannot use any electrical technical device to search on internet, like what is the image will look like. I have to use my memories when I still live in Hanoi, and like those picture I see in the internet, and I need to use that to draw the picture. The difficulties is, I think, because I haven't been to Hanoi for a long time, so my memories of like
the memory of the place was not so strong as it used to be, right?
Yeah, so it's get a bit difficult. So I think I draw a bit off compared to real life. But the other thing is I a person that easily to get distracted. So
distracted.
Yeah, distracted.
Okay.
So I get pretty hard to get concentration of like thinking of an image on my head and just draw through that image. And what I feel about it, I feel like pretty hard because my imagination is not that wide, it's not that strong, it's not that rich. Yeah.
You need to build that up, imagination has to be built up and trained through time too.
Yeah, so
it's not like you can be born with it,
Yeah, so I think I still need time to develop my imagination throughout the next year.
Yes, you can learn a lot, like by doing YouTube videos, you can learn a lot about how to improve your channels, how to improve the way you present it to people. Like I have to learn a lot too, of course. Everyone has to learn a lot how to use the imagination, how to build up the imagination,
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to part 3. So, Michelle, do you think adults can have lots of imagination?
Yes, honestly, I think the adult sometimes they have a lack of an imagination about the future. They
Just imagine about a future, oh dear.
Yeah, they always want to have a lot of things in life, and I don't really live in the real world.
In the real world, I see. I mean, of course, everyone lives in the real world and they want to have this and that, yes. And people want to have a stable job, a very huge income. But then they wish to not having to work so much. Of course, they imagine the situation that is always perfect, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about it. Like a perfect life, a perfect job that people always imagine about. Can you talk about it?
I think a lot of people always wish that they will have a good job in a good company that they can do working with under pressure, but their salary is high. But I think nothing can easy if you want to have or to earn more, you have to work hard on to work in a pressure environment.
Yes. And that's you just have to work harder, of course. Imagination is actually imagining like a perfect situation, a perfect job for you might be the motivation. Nó có thể là cái động lực. It can be a motivation to try harder. But a lot of people they imagine too much without taking action, you know. Họ tưởng tượng quá nhiều mà không hề hành động gì cả, without taking action, so that is bad. So what do you think about this question, Mr. Luân? Do you think adults can have lots of imagination?
Of course, I think adults can have a lot of imagination, especially who are the writers and artists. They have to innovate their artwork, their book for living.
Of course, for a living, they have to create new. They have to create new poems or new products. I mean, new compositions, right?
Yeah, composition for
Composition.
composition. Okay. And adult can imagine the better future.
Yes.
Where they wish they live in, to escape the reality. When they have some struggle in real life, they often think about the other world that they can live in that.
Okay. Right. So, Mr. Trung, do you think imagination is essential for scientists? Think about the job that they have to do. Think about their everyday struggles with, experiments and things.
Yeah, I think imagination is is essential for scientists because they have to think a lot of
Possibilities, right?
Yeah, possibilities for this project they are working on, and what this project can help people in a different area, and they have to think of possible error, like thing that may go wrong. So I think having a wide imagination will help them prepare for every situation that may happen when they are working on their project. So imagination is very essential for scientists, so they can having having a good thinking of what they do. What do you say? It's better thinking of
Critical thinking is different from imagination, you know. Sometimes
yeah.
being a scientist, you have to imagine things, how it would be if, let's say, you mix this chemical with another one. For example, you have to always use your thinking, your imagination to see how the experiment should be. Maybe to design an experiment, thiết kế ra một cái kiểu mà làm thí nghiệm, something like that sometimes. So, Miss Shượng, what kind of jobs need imagination? What do you think?
I always imagine that a job I can work from home. I don't need to go to the office, and using only computer, and I can easily working on that. Don't need to go somewhere, and take a lot of time to travel or prepare anything before going to work. And
Yes.
yeah.
And
And for me, in the COVID-19, is my job currently, I have to work from home, so
you have to work from home.
imagination
So
is
imagination is
acceptable.
actually helpful for you.
It's true. It's real.
Of course, it's
But
real. We know it.
yeah.
Of course, we know it. We need imagination, otherwise we would die with boredom. You know. You say
Yeah.
boredom can kill. Chán đến chết là có thật đấy nha, phải không nào? It's actually boredom can actually have a very bad effect on your health, and you have to imagine just to escape from the reality sometimes.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Trung, what do you think? What kind of jobs need imaginations? What kinds of jobs?
For me, the kind of job that need a lot of imagination is like something related to art, to for example, author, actors, maybe scientists, possibly singer. I'm not sure, because like for example, for actor, they need to imagine like they read the script from the director, and they
have to act.
Director, and they have to imagine
The situation.
Situation
The
will
scenario.
be, and the scenario, and so they will have well prepared for the scene before shooting, so they can act more. They can
naturally.
Naturally, and they can bring us good movie. Also the like author writing novel, they will have a good imagination. They can imagine a story, a very good story, so their novel can attract to a lot of readers.
Can attract to. Are you sure attract to?
Yeah.
Can attract without preposition, không có giới từ nha. Can attract people.
Yeah, can attract people, so they can read their novel.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what I think.
Okay, Mr. Lun, please. So, what subjects are helpful for children's imagination? What do you think?
There are many subjects are helpful for children imagination, especially the drawing,
Yes.
which is essential for children develop their imagination, because they have to use their their memories of things, or they have to create and reality things to decorate the
Decorate. To
picture.
decorate.
To decorate the picture.
Okay.
So all the factor to make that picture from memory and imagination. That's the reason is subject very helpful for children.
I see. Okay. So I think we can just end the video here. It's already time. So any question, class? Do you have any question?
No.
Okay, if not, please finish your writing. Finish your writing so Tuesday we can fix it, okay?
Okay.
Be careful. When you do your writing, always recheck everything.
Yes.
So don't keep making mistakes. You always have to recheck your writing many times. Nhớ là phải kiểm tra lại thật nhiều lần nha. Okay. If there's no question, I would like to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads. You can also follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Thank you and see you in my next video. Bye bye.